Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a horror film, Adult Swim Yule Log. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with an elongated shot of a fireplace, with calming music playing in the background. Then we hear a landlady entering her giant cabin. She starts cleaning the place with her vacuum cleaner, but gets interrupted when she hears knocking on the door. The landlady goes to open the door and meets a crazy mother who asks if she can use the phone. The landlady is a bit skeptical because crazy mother should have a cell phone with her. Suddenly, crazy mother's giant son, named Psycho, shows up and forcefully enters the house. He's wearing a creepy mask to cover his ugly face, and then he chases after the landlady. Psycho finally catches her. He drops his mask before assaulting the landlady. Once everything is done, crazy mother asks her psycho son if he is sane and happy, but he's actually upset because the landlady wasn't the woman that he wanted to be his wife. Crazy mother tries to clean up the mess made by her son, while he starts throwing the landlady's clothes into the fire to get rid of the evidence. However, the criminals hear someone driving in, so they quickly run from the scene and drag the landlady's body away. Now, a couple enters the cabin and notices that the fireplace is still on. The woman, Zoe, is surprised that the house hasn't burned down, and her boyfriend, Alex, is relieved about it. Zoe goes to pee her wastewater, but not to extinguish the fireplace. Then Alex reveals that everything seen so far has been a video recording of a camera he left behind. Alex zooms out to get a better view of the room, and then he brings out some wine to cheer up Zoe. The couple gets into a weird conversation, where Alex compares his smelly part to a cork. He then invites Zoe to come and play a hormone yoga with him on the bear rug, but she refuses because the camera is still on. Alex says that Zoe can start an online video career, and he tries to convince her to get freaky with him on top of the bear rug. Zoe covers it with a cloth because she doesn't want it to see what's going to happen next. The couple kisses for a bit, and Alex asks Zoe if she wants a snack. She thinks it dirty, but he actually reveals to the camera that he's going to ask her to marry him. Now, Alex brings some food and acts like he's pulled a muscle. Zoe looks for some medicine, but Alex abruptly proposes to her. Right then, the camera keeps blurring the couple, allowing us to see the reflections of crazy mother and her psycho son peeping on them. Alex wants an answer to his proposal, but Zoe leaves him hanging and doesn't say anything. The couple is interrupted by a sheriff who drops by to ask if they've seen anything suspicious. He reveals that he found the woman's body beaten and strangled to death, and he invites himself inside the cabin along with his junior cop. Sheriff spots the burning log and says that it belongs to a hanging tree where slaves used to be hanged. Alex and Zoe are shocked to hear this, and Junior Cop explains that the hanging tree is also considered to be a demon tree that feeds on fear. However, Sheriff tells him to stop his bullshit and asks for some water. Zoe gives Sheriff the water, and he uses it to douse the burning log. Sheriff asks the couple not to light the log anymore, but Junior Cop jokes by saying that there are aliens around the area as well. The couple continues their painfully awkward conversation with Sheriff and Junior Cop. After that, Junior Cop spots the camera. He finds out that Alex is an online blogger who has millions of views and starts to reconsider his career options. Sheriff suggests deleting any footage of the burning log, and he finally goes away along with Junior Cop. Suddenly, we see some ghost kids who seem to have lived in this cabin during an earlier era. Alex thinks that Sheriff is stupid for believing in superstitious nonsense, but Zoe is worried because she has seen too many true crime documentaries. Alex tries to reassure Zoe by getting comfy with her body, but she is not in the mood anymore, and it pisses him off. Alex asks Zoe once more if she wants to marry him, but she says that she's too freaked out about marriage because of her constant anxiety. Zoe worries that she'll suck the life out of Alex, but he says that he wants to be with her despite her paranoia. Zoe's anxiety shoots through the roof, so Alex suggests increasing her medication. This upsets Zoe, and she goes on a rant, talking about how the world is dying and she cannot raise a child in this hellhole. Alex tells her to calm down and reasons that every era of time seems shitty when you're living in it. Zoe fails to find reason in his logic, but then Alex gets romantic, so Zoe suggests going to the hot tub. However, they hear someone at the door and find a group of travelers consisting of Skinny, Blondie, Hippie, and Babe. It turns out that this group has actually double-booked the cabin, along with Alex and Zoe. To make matters worse, the couple learns that the group has taken a lot of edibles, so they won't be able to drive anywhere tonight. Alex and Skinny call the landlady, but the phone starts ringing inside the cabin. Zoe follows the buzzing sound and finds the cell phone under the couch. She starts to freak out and wants to call Sheriff, but Alex isn't too keen on it. He eventually agrees to do so, and then Skinny learns about the suspected murders in the area. He goes on to reveal that his group does murder podcasts, but Zoe doesn't care about it. Skinny and his group try to light up the log after learning that Alex's video channel shows stuff like burning Yule logs. However, Zoe tells them not to do it because of the curse. Alex calls sheriff, while the podcast group talks about aliens in old lynching photos. Unfortunately, Alex is told to call back the next day if the landlady doesn't show up for her phone. This leads to an argument between the two groups, and then we see a series of intertwined scenes, seemingly of people that used to live in this cabin during different eras. We now see a man named Isaac being fed cornbread by his assistant. Isaac compliments assistant's cornbread, and then he asks her to come sit next to him, probably for some romance. However, he reveals that he couldn't get assistant's son sold to a client of her choice. Both of them get into an argument, and then we are taken back to the two groups in the present day. After discussing room allotment, the podcast group mentions the hot tub, so Babe decides to take off her hormone outfit in front of everyone. Alex wants to join Babe and Blondie in the hot tub, despite them being smelly, but Zoe tells him to go upstairs and unpack. Everyone leaves the fireplace, but suddenly, the logs start burning again. The shot switches to a POV of a log, which checks out Babe's body before going upstairs. The log enters the bathroom and spots Skinny taking a skinny shower. It ends his skinny life by smashing his face. Now the log goes back to the fireplace and watches the podcast group coming back from the hot tub. Babe is teased about her dating life, and then Hippie changes the topic by asking Alex how much he makes from his videos. Alex says that he's a hustler with multiple income sources, so Hippie talks about being a freelance photographer as well. However, Babe teases him, saying that he's a useless drug dealer. Now, Blondie starts flirting with Alex, using her blonde body, but Zoe drops by and mentions that the log is burning again. The others don't care about it. Hippie then gives an edible to Alex. This upsets Zoe, so she goes to bed. Hippie asks what Zoe's problem is, so Alex explains how one day, Zoe's colleague got killed in the middle of a job that Zoe was originally supposed to do. As Alex continues, Hippie's edible hits him, and he sees the bear rug staring into his eyes. Then, he spots an old man named Goldie, calling him to enter the fireplace. Hippie is skeptical at first, but decides to crawl through the fireplace because Alex's story about his girlfriend is getting too boring. He surprisingly makes it through without getting burned, and then Oldie offers him a drink. There are other people inside this place, bloody and smiling, but Oldie tells Hippie not to worry about them, as he has his own path. Now Oldie invites Hippie inside a time machine that takes them through different time zones. They can see various families through the fireplace's POV, and Oldie tells Hippie that he can help him change his hip-hop life. He takes Hippie to the time when his mom was 8 months pregnant with him and says that he needs to write A++ on a piece of paper and stick it on the fridge if he wants to have a better future. Hippie is doubtful about his chances, but goes ahead and completes the task. He comes back feeling accomplished, but then Oldie tells him that he messed up because he's holding a kitchen knife. It turns out Hippie has actually killed his own mom, and he vanishes out of thin air because he no longer exists. Back to the podcast group, we see Hippie being replaced by a new man, and then Blondie goes to check up on Skinny. She finds his dead body and panics, so the group rushes to the scene. They try to call the cops, but the log attacks Blondie, ending her blonde life. After that, the alternative Hippie tries to douse it, possibly using his pee, but he gets killed in time, so Zoe and the other two rush upstairs. Zoe calls the cops to alert them about what happened, but is unable to give them an address. She also learns that there's no sheriff in this town, and she starts to panic. The log floats in front of the window and breaks into the room, so the group rushes away. Zoe and Alex hide inside a closet, while Babe is seemingly attacked outside. Zoe mentions that she saw Sheriff sprinkling something on the log earlier and suspects that he's cursed them. However, Alex doesn't believe her and starts planning a movie based on this incident, hoping it will be shown in theaters rather than on Daniel CC Movie Channel. Suddenly, the log shows up and breaks into the closet, causing the couple to run for their shitty life. But then, they're attacked by Crazy Mother and her psycho son. Babe and Zoe are tied up and presented to Psycho as his potential wives, while Crazy Mother eats some cheese in front of Alex. Psycho teases the girls in a tense sequence and eventually chooses Babe as his first candidate. He starts to assault her in front of Zoe, while Crazy Mother forces Alex to eat her cheese. She explains that she wants Psycho to have a child, but laments that he keeps murdering the women she finds for him. Crazy Mother teases Alex by saying Zoe doesn't want to marry him, but Alex tries to convince her that Psycho can still meet a nice girl with an honest job. Crazy Mother plays along to give Alex some hope, but then she continues with her taunting. By now, Psycho has finished assaulting Babe, and he goes for Zoe. He flexes his muscles by breaking an axe, and then reveals his muscular but smelly sausage. Suddenly, the scene transitions back to Isaac and his assistant, where Isaac explains that he had no other choice but to sell her son to an evil businessman instead of a nice one. However, assistant wraps him up in a cloth and stabs him, while screaming that the son also belongs to Isaac. It turns out the cursed log is actually filled with the souls of all the people who have been around it. The log attacks Psycho before he assaults Zoe, and a brief showdown follows. It ends with the log smacking Psycho out of the cabin, and Psycho runs after the log into the mountains. Now Crazy Mother starts to assault Alex, but then some blue lights appear. Alex thinks it's the cops, but it's actually an alien spaceship. Suddenly, an alien arrives and kills Crazy Mother by draining her blood with his disgusting gun. Alex tries to reason with the alien, but he gets attacked as well. The alien moves toward the girls, but Babe plays dead, so Zoe becomes the target. Another montage shows some memories of all the families of the cabin, and then we see a knife dropping in front of Zoe. Suddenly, Psycho shows up and kills the alien with his axe. Then he tries to assault Zoe because he thinks that she loves him. Unluckily, Zoe stabs him right in his muscular sausage, ending his psychopathic life. She then goes to Alex, who is somehow still alive. She frees him, and the couple is about to escape in their car, but the log arrives again. Zoe goes back inside and tries to free Babe, but Oldie appears once more. He brings Zoe into his fire room and tries to trick her into changing the past, just like he did with Hippie. Now, Oldie takes Zoe to the time just before she was conceived by her parents. He says that she can interrupt her parents' hormone yoga to give another sperm a chance to live her life. Zoe doesn't give in to Oldie's deception and says she wants to live, but Oldie scolds her for her moral double standards. He also takes her knife away and reveals that it belonged to him all along. Things are about to get tricky, but luckily, Alex shows up with a stick and frees Zoe. Alex and the two girls try to escape in the car, but realize that the keys are still inside the cabin. Zoe retrieves the keys, but Babe runs away into the forest. After finally starting the car, the couple drives away, but they run into Sheriff, who is actually the leader of an evil cult worshipping the hanging tree. It is also implied that Assistant was killed on this tree, as can be seen in a flashback. Zoe loses her patience and kills Sheriff before driving away. The couple celebrates their achievement, but the log pops up behind them. Now, we see Isaac and his assistant in an alternative reality, where Assistant is Isaac's boss and girlfriend. They plan on leaving work early to have a good time, and even Psycho is there, but as a repairman. Suddenly, the trio realizes that they are in an illusion as everything starts to burn around them. It turns out Isaac is actually the younger version of Oldie, and he has been cursed to spend the rest of eternity inside the log. The movie ends with the log breaking into the car and killing both Zoe and Alex. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.